I'm in a goofy ass mood today, man. But anyway, so um, Big Dirt, this is for you, my dude. He been asking me to talk about Haiti for a little while, um, about the Haitian Revolution. So the Haitian Revolution, and well, we all know about the whole slavery system, where after Columbus, and then they wiped out the Tainos, allegedly, because we cannot be for sure that all the Tainos has been wiped out. But based on what people have been saying, is that there has the indigenous people that were already here in the Americas were of darker complexions already. So then, therefore, maybe a lot of them were wiped out. Maybe there were has been some a lot of slavery embarkment to a certain degree. But let's just say that not all Tainos were wiped out of Haiti, right? Let's just say some of them were made. But anyway, so during the whole slave trade, and Haiti was, or its original name, okay, first you had Columbus, came through, took over the island, and then named it Hispaniola, which is Little Spain. And so the whole island was not divided yet. So then after they wiped out the Tainos, so they brought in the slaves, I think in the late 1500s, early 1600s, right? So Haiti was the main port. There was a lot of production that was going on in Haiti. You have um, you have tobacco, you have sugar cane, you have cocoa, cottons, you name it, dude. Like Haitian production, the amount of production that was going coming along out of Haiti made France the richest, or like one of the richest countries or empire in the old world. But how did the French even came about actually acquiring Haiti in the first place? So when the pirates, they started going along, they setting up shop in the islands, and then so we have all these colonial battles between France and Spain and England. So they were all try to get a piece of the pie, right? And everywhere they go. So when France and Spain were like fighting, so what they started doing now, they actually started to use slaves in order to actually come. They were using slave in order to actually fight off against the Spaniard. So you have group of Haitians such as Toussaint Louverture, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. They were pretty much what they started doing now, right? Okay, let me backtrack. Let me backtrack. Okay, let me backtrack for a minute. Let me, because I don't want to be all over the place because the timeline might be off based on what I'm saying, and also that I want to really think and articulate my brain because I'm still gonna have to do a lot more research on this. It has been a while since I've actually able to really get the details on the story of Haiti, which is good though because now actually will give me a chance to be more accurate. But for now, it's just gonna be like an overview or like a brief history of what I believe to be true. That's why it's his story. All right, so France, Spain, England, they were the three major power. They were the three major power that has been going on throughout the Americas. Um, they were colonizing as many land as possible. And with the slave trade that started, because they were wiping out so many indigenous people, so they had to bring new blood to actually in order to work for them and actually replace who they've been killing. And also the fact that the indigenous had the home advantage, it would be hard to actually enslave them in their own land without actually having to keep an eye on them 24/7. So then what they do, they bring in other people from other land to actually work their newfound discovery, I guess. And all the meanwhile, they could actually focus their forces and continue to wipe out the Indians. But as they were exterminating the indigenous people, they were themselves fighting with each other because it's greed. Everybody want a piece of that American pie, you know. So as Haiti became divided now between France and Spain, due to the fact that there were a lot of, you had Spain occupy the whole island at the beginning, called Hispaniola, and then the French pirates started to like observe their influence on the island. So then the French government now backed those pirates up. So now they were able to actually occupy or actually fought the Spaniard and actually occupy a good chunk of Haiti. So that's why the island became divided between Saint Domingue or Santo Domingo and Haiti. Now, what was shit? Saint Domingue. Because I think he went from Hispaniola to Saint Domingue, and Haiti became the name right actually after the independence. My history timeline is a little bit screwed at the moment. Like I said,
looking for what information?
I'll get the information later. But anyway, so now you have this conflicts between the French and the Spaniard, and slavery is a booming business. And in Haiti was a port to where the new slaves would be embarked in there. And then those new slaves would then now, from there, they would actually be shipped off to the other ports. Like, for example, some would go to the United States, some would go to like the other, everywhere. Everywhere they needed slaves, that's what they would send them. But fresh off the boat would be Haiti. So hence why a lot of the slaves that actually, once they landed in Haiti, a lot of them would act, or not a lot of them, but a good percentage of them would actually fight off and free themselves and would actually go hide in the mountain. So when these slaves would go hide in the mountain, that's how they would also now be influenced by the remaining Tainos. One a good example of that was this guy named Bookman. I forgot how the reason they named him Bookman is because he was actually, I think, a Muslim, right? They would try to like take the Quran. The Quran was the only thing he had left in his possessions. They would try to take the Quran away from him, and he held it for his dear life. And they actually burned the book on top of him, so he was scarred. So that's why the name Bookman came about. So Bookman was like a runaway slave, right? And I think that process started off in the late 1700s, to which that's when the whole Haitian Revolution started brewing. The slaves, they were like trying to communicate with each other, and they were using their African culture, pretending they were actually like praying the gods of the oppressor, but at the same time, they were actually now inserting their religious belief into those deities, So then, but anyway, the real revolution started off with something called the ceremony of Boakaima. The ceremony of Boakaima is when a lot of slaves, they got together, and then they were united by Bookman. But we cannot give the men all the credit, because the main reason why this meeting was even possible is because women had a lot more freedom to move about than men. And the older the women, the more freedom you had to actually roam about. So then, therefore, these were the women that had the chance to actually, they scheme behind the scene. They were able to find out who's legit and who's going to sell them out. And beforehand, there were a lot of beheading. There were a lot of any sign of revolt that would take place. The French were fucking brutal, man. Like, they were really fucking brutal. when it comes to actually crush down rebellions. And so then the meeting at Bois was a success. They were able to actually come together to actually formulate a plan. And then this is when Boukman were actually had the opportunity to unite Haitians under this newfound belief system called voodoo. And voodoo, this is why I'm gonna tell you that why it is actually very important. It's so important because the thing is, right, your belief system will determine whether or not you have the willpower to move forward or to roll over and act like a victim. So, because Christianity was known as the religion of the oppressor, so it only makes sense for the slaves to not follow Christianity because to them it's like a God that is actually willing to actually oppress them should not be worshipped by them. So they figured out, and Boukman, the way he was so smart about it, because like he united all these different tribes, whether you came from the Dahomey kingdom, whether you came from like the Mali kingdom, whether you came from wherever you came from. And then he was like, now it doesn't matter anymore. Right now, we are one people. And he was able to merge all those belief systems into what we know as voodoo right now. And then the importance of voodoo, it actually teaches the people that right now, your God is equal. You are equal. You no longer a servant. And when you have that mentality in your head that you are not a slave, you are just a prisoner of war, that means that it gives you in your mind the mentality that you can actually fight off again. You can rise up and fight again. You only lost the battle, but you did not lose the war. And the only thing, and also one of the mentality that they portrayed to them was this: if we do not revolt, if we do not do anything to actually get out of the situation that we're in right now, it will be worse off for our children. That was a key thing. It will be worse off for our children. If we don't do anything about it now, it will be worse off for our children. That was the premise to which the Haitian Revolution started, because they did not want their kids to actually go through what they've gone through. And the only way to do so is for them to actually rise up and do something about their situation. All right, so 1791, that's when the revolution took off, right? So all of a sudden, right, the slaves, they start poisoning their masters, right? Motherfuckers were dying left and right. Like plantations started burning off. Like everything was starting to fucking set ablaze. The whole premise, coupe tête boule caille. And that shit was very, very fucking costly for the French. And they killed a lot of plantation owners when the army came through. There was like a big brawl and a lot of people died. Slaves died, and it did not succeed at the beginning, right? Even though it was not successful, but it actually opened up the door to give other slaves courage that it is possible. You can make it happen. So Boukman was caught. He was beheaded. Was it beheaded or was he hung? I think he was beheaded. I'm not sure. But anyway, he was caught, beheaded, and they thought it was over, but it's not. Because the thing about Haitians is that how should I put this, right? The fear of death is almost like an illusion. Fear, falsely exaggerated, altered reality. Because it's not death that we actually feared, but the fear that we had was if we actually let it happen and not do nothing about ourselves. and the fear of it's gonna be worse for our kids. And that fear itself was the courage that gave us to actually move forward to make it happen. So then when Bookman, where Bookman failed, Toussaint Louverture pick up the pace, pick up the pace, and actually, to continue the work that Bookman started. And Toussaint Louverture, how did he come about? That's that I'm definitely gonna have to do a lot of research. But the overall picture of Toussaint Louverture was he started off as a slave, and he was able to join the army, the army forces, and he was able to actually gain his freedom, right? So then he actually helped out with the battles of when France and Spain were in their conflict. So he fought against the Spaniard, and then after that, at some point, he turned against the French when England and France was having their little. Or was it the opposite? No. My bad. He joined the Spaniard to fight against the French at the beginning. And then when the abolishment of slavery occurred in France, so then he was like, well, then I might as well switch to France. So then therefore I actually strike a deal with them and let them know that, hey, if I fight for you, me and my people, so then therefore you free us and we'll be able to actually now gain our independence, right? Our freedom. So of course the French are like, yeah, mon monsieur, no problem, mon vieux, we could help you. Terrible French accents. So then he switched side. So now he fucked the Spaniards over. And then from Spain, and then you had the English. So now when America was getting their independence, right? And then remember, French backed up the Americans in their war of independence. They use Haitian soldiers to actually help the American in their revolution. And then we're still with the premise that if you help us with those fights, then we will make sure that we grant you freedom, right? We will free the slaves. They knew that wasn't going to happen, but they're like, fuck it, let's do it anyway. So then that's how the Haitians now fought against the British. So of course, you know what happened with the British. They lost any sort of influence they started to have in Haiti, also with the influence they had in the States. So they lost the war. And then now French turn around and be like, buddy, you know the promise that I made for you about your freedom. A certain je ne sais quoi, can I give it to you? And they're like, hold on, get mama. Okay, welcome, George. So now, so okay, no problem. So now they kick off a revolution against the French now. And that shit lasted a long time. So to the point that I think, was it in 17, I don't want to get the fucking dates wrong. Okay, you had 1791. That's when you had the slave revolt. And then that shit kind of calmed down. And then with the American Revolution, that's when the slave army decided to work with the French in order to them to actually so they beat up the Spaniard, and then they beat up the English. And then afterward, so now when France did not want to actually keep up the promise that they made for them, so that's when they're like, all right, I got something for your ass. So then they turn on the French now. So Toussaint Louverture set up how everything's gonna be about, that's when you have generals like Jean-Jacques Dessalines, you have Pétion, and you have a whole bunch of other names. So to which now they actually plan how they actually gonna continue to fight, regardless whatever who's in charge, something happened to them. The next person in line already know what's gonna happen, what they need to do, and the next person. So the chain of command were set up so fucking deep. So even though after Toussaint Louverture was captured, was tricked into a peace treaty, and then when he was actually trying to sign the treaty with the French, they capture him. and then they shipped him to France where he died. And Jean-Jacques Dessalines took off where Louverture left off. And then from then on, they actually fought off the French, gruesome battles, to the point that the French tried to employ a French legion to go against the slave, and not the French legion, the Polish legions, to turn against this and to actually fight the slaves. And the slaves were able to convince a group of them, like most of them, to actually now turn against the French. And that's where the relationship with Haiti and Poland started off, based on the Haitian Revolution. And then after a battle, man, we kicked the French's ass. We kicked their asses. We gained our fucking independence. And 1804, January 1st, 1804. And then we create the Republic of Haiti. Actually, it wasn't a republic before. Actually, Dessalines created the Empire of Haiti. Why an empire? Because he actually, in the Constitution of 1805, which he stated that any Black person in the Americas or wherever can actually live in Haiti and actually be considered a Haitian. So then, therefore, is that like his aim was to actually go throughout the Americas and actually start fighting off the colonies. That's why we helped Cuba. That's why we started to help a whole bunch of other nations. But that's a whole nother story. And I need to actually do a lot more research on that. And there are a few people I had the chance to follow. But anyway, that was a quick one. I hope you were satisfied. No, actually, no. I don't even think you were satisfied for me, because I still have a lot of research to do. But anyway, so this is a quick intro to the whole, how were the Spanish involved in the Haitian Revolution? Just curious. The Spaniard, they weren't involved in the Haitian Revolution. They were occupying part of Haiti. I think Saint-Domingue was their portion. And then as Spain were losing influence, Spain was losing influence throughout the Americas, because they were running out of, they were losing a lot of wars, and French was trying to actually kick them out of the island. So then they used a Haitian army, as the slave army, to actually help fight off the Spaniard, in Saint-Domingue. So was that accurate? That is a good question. That is a really good question. Let me take that shit down. I bet, pass me a pen, please. That is a good question, Big Dirk. And that is something for me to research. So how were the French, how were Spain involved in the Haitian Revolution? All right. Okay, cool. So Haitian society, they were, not every Black people were slaves, right? You had, some of them were freed. Some of them became freed slaves. Let's say you have the mulattoes. The mulattoes were also, they weren't slaves.
I can interrupt you if I'm the answer.
You found the answer?
Yeah. Hispaniola it was an island. So one was French colony of Saint-Domingue.
Saint-Domingue.
Yeah, sorry. And Spanish colony of Santo Domingo.
Yeah.
Well, the Spanish colony, their economy fueled the social imbalance.
What do you mean?
Their economy, they helped finance it.
They helped finance. Okay.
Spain's diplomacy and Haitian Revolution.
Yeah, let me read that.
In order to clarify the nature of the historical events, Spain's. Yeah, I'm getting the page. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah. No, it's good. See, my girl, right? She's the type, let's say I have to research something. I'm like, I'm gonna call her on the phone. Like, oh, hey babe, I have this idea real quick. I want you to do this research for me, that research for me, that research for me. And the funny thing about it, she would email me a whole bunch of shit, and I don't even have time to research it. I don't even have time to actually like properly read them. And yeah, I'm an asshole in that. So yes. Mm. So
No, go
basically,
ahead, I'll let you know when I get to the section that
yeah.
it talks about, okay?
All right, cool. But I'm not staying for long. It's like half hour, and
Okay, I see.
So all we got.
Uh, the Spanish government wished to take advantage of the chaos in Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
The foot of the volcano, self-liberation. The state that there were two main ways of slave resistance: violence resistance and non-violent resistance. Well, that's ridiculous. Hold on.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
Okay, now you understand?
I understand now. Okay, so this is how Spain was involved in the French and the Haitian Revolution, right? Remember the slave revolt that I was telling you about from 1791? So the Spaniards,
1792 to 1796.
yeah, so 1792 to 1796. So the Spaniard saw this as a way to actually take advantage of the situation, to which now I guess that's how Toussaint Louverture
It says including Toussaint Louverture joined Spanish forces to fight against the French.
So okay, now I see. Okay, good, perfect. Because I knew there was like a connection was missing. All right, good, perfect, right? So as you have a slave revolt, right, with Boukman and the slaves like going over there, burning off plantation, all this shit, and you also have another faction of Haitians that now actually collaborated with the Spanish government, right, to actually fight the French army. So that's where, like, Toussaint Louverture, so it was like
created a war on two fronts.
Yeah, created a war on two fronts, right, using Spain resources to fuck up the French army.
Okay, that's enough of my.
And at the same time, now you had the revolutions, like they were creating. The revolt, like the regular slaves, they were creating chaos because they might not have the resources to do so, but they could still grab a machete and do what they got to do. So that's why Toussaint Louverture was actually now at the beginning was fighting for the Spaniards, and then so even though the Haitian revolt did not succeed at the beginning, but it actually created a huge impact onto the French morale as well as their economy. So then now also across the Atlantic, you also now had Napoleon was struggling. There was this whole French Revolution as well in France, to which they had slaves in Europe, but they abolished slavery in France. So then when news actually finally made it to the island, so Toussaint Louverture was like, wait a minute, I'm fighting the people that actually abolish slavery. So then if I can actually work with them now, maybe they would actually help, they would then abolish slavery in Haiti as well, because they considered, because French, the Haiti was considered part of France, similar to how Puerto Rico is part of United States, right? So then that was a sentiment to which you're like, okay, now if I switch side, if I now help the French against the Spaniard, then I'm just fighting him off as a French citizen. Because the thing about it was, like, at the beginning, they were not trying to become their own country. They just wanted to actually be free and actually not have those treatment that they're receiving, And that's the thing that people don't understand, though. It's like there's a certain level of servitude that comes across in any society. Look at our society today, right? We are slaves. We are still financial slaves, because we live in a debt society to which that everything's in credit. So we are debt slaves. But at the same time, we still have the illusion of freedom. We still can move about. We still can actually travel from one country to the next. And there's always a caste system to which certain people, certain aspect of our society are not allowed to do so. Say if you have a crazy baby mama, you got child support, your ass ain't leaving the country. If you got debt, or if you have like certain um if you have like certain what you call it, prison records, so on and so forth, then you are more restricted. But it's still a level of slavery, but you don't feel it, you don't see it. So then you more intertwined to actually work within that system and actually be a servitude of that system. So it's the same thing with the Haitians. They were not trying to actually create their own country. They just wanted to have better treatment. They did not want to be used as slave, whipped, killed, all this shit. They wanted to be like, okay, well, if you say that I am your colony, right? So then treat me like a human being. I'm willing to still work the land. I'm willing to actually, do all this sugarcane shit for you, cottons, cacao, all this shit. Treat me like a human being. But the ego of the French, as in like, and is this mindset of superiority, eugenics. They could not actually bring themselves to do it. And then therefore now they continue to, especially the plantation owners, because they start off with a system of I'm superior than you, you're my slaves. And all of a sudden, I can allow you to just be free, to be a free man. Doesn't work that way. So now the Haitian now had no choice but to actually like kick the French out and actually took over. So this has been a long ass one.
Wasn't there a time when they expelled them, exiled them,
Mm.
and they tried to shoot them off the boat?
Yeah.
Sorry, Sweetie, do you want some?
What is that?
A drink.
Yeah, I'll
Do you
take
have
one.
room?
Yeah, I'll take one. Thanks, bud. Mwah. All right. But anyway, so whoever that's just coming in right now, what up? Anyway, so thank you guys. And like I said, this was a short one. And I'll continue to do my research when it comes to Haitian history, as well as I gotta do it from a lot of perspective, because you have to understand the struggle for Haiti to actually to remain sovereign is still continuing until this day. And next time we talk about Haiti, I will talk about why the Haitian economy, why it got so fucked up, why Haiti is still poor with the infrastructure, and what role that other superpowers have played in the destruction of Haiti. All right, so I'm out of here. Peace. Thanks, Big Dirt. Take care, man. Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. How would this play involved in the Haitian Revolution? Just curious.